everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. And we are here today on a lovely Monday afternoon, Mott. It's good to be back in the Thunder saddle. I love these Mondays. Been coming in a lot of Mondays in a row now, so it's good to be here. Was at South Beach Food and Wine Festival this weekend. That was a lot of fun. Hello, all the Vaniacs that came out and saw me. I appreciate it. Great to meet a bunch of you down there. So thank you so much for that. We had two great seminars, and I hope they invite me back next year because it was a lot of fun. Miami's great, Mod. Have you been? I like Miami. Everything except the Dolphins. Just a big fan of the city, but Dolphins are good. Anyway, big hockey game last night. Did you watch it, Mott? Mm-hmm. I watched it at airport. My dad was wrong. He's very sad. And that's how we came up with today's show. In honor of Canada winning a very big gold medal, we are doing a Canadian, I don't know what that was, a Canadian wine show today. So we've got two wines here, both from Ontario. We're not going to do the Okanagan out in Vancouver, which is probably what I should have done since that's where the Olympics were. But we've got two wines here, a Gewürztraminer and a dessert wine, and a Vidal ice wine. And so I'm very excited about doing that. But before I start the show, I want to give a huge happy birthday to Josh Michael. It's 25th. His wife, Catherine Mott, is such a sweet gal. She says he loves the show, and if we give him a shout-out today, it would be a big deal. So that's what we're doing. I think it was yesterday. I emailed him, but happy birthday, Josh. And I want to give a huge shout out to the Virginia Tech wine program because Professor John Boyer has been pumping Wine Library TV to his classes for a long time. I get emails all the time from Virginia Tech and asking me to come down there. We'll see what we can do. I'm traveling a lot less now with little Misha. Little Misha. As a matter of fact, put up a little picture of little Misha. All right, there we go. A little editing for us today, which is unheard of. I'll tell you which picture to put up in a second. Anyway, with her at home, it's hard to travel, but if I do make any schleps out, I want to go to Virginia Tech and support this wine class. And thank you, Professor Boyer. Really good peeps. Joseph B., big shout out to you. You were the latest email that reminded me of that. And so, other than that, things are pretty good. I'm excited about the show. Two wines. We've got a great week of shows for you. And I'm excited to start off this Monday. A lot of controversy from the last episode, Mott, before we start. A lot of people felt, the wines were down. They didn't feel that was my best effort. They felt like, maybe it was my second or third ever clunker in 820 episodes. I guess I'm allowed to pass every 270 episodes, Mott. What do you think?
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, the wines were bad. And I was disappointed. And so, I apologize. I did look in the mirror all weekend and decided maybe it was time for me to hang them up. It's after a fighter having a big fight, didn't show up. Maybe I should hang up the gloves. But I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, no, I'm still the greatest. So, I feel like I can keep doing this show. So let's get into the first wine. The Malavior 2006, a little agey now, estate bottled Gewürztraminer. This wine rolls in at $16 US. And Gewürz is just an amazingly interesting varietal to me. I drink quite a bit from the Alsace, and Pacific Northwest now is starting to capture my attention as well. Tag's bothering you, Matt? I just almost broke my office. But, Canada, we're starting to see some interesting stuff now. Now, Gewürz tends to drink somewhat young. They can age. This is an 06, a little older. It's also dramatically more golden, almost like Hulk Hogan's circa 1984 Thunderlips Hogan golden hair. Like the old, Dusty Rhodes Ric Flair golden hair. Not when it started becoming like white. The gold color going on here. So that's kind of nice. Let's give this wine a snippy snip. It's a good opportunity for me to mention, because I haven't in a while. I do this show, do it all the time. Tasted wine for a long, long time. Started tasting wine heavily when I was 21 and reading about wine my whole life. And I review wines and I put out ratings, and SS Chris, the great SS Chris, handles the Gary scores up above. So please click that. Link that up. He deserves a little love. He does an amazing job. He's much better than, let's say, like NY Pete or Cahoon or Tim F or Kitty Safe. All these people bring nothing to the table. SS Chris doing something, but Tim F doesn't watch it anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, you need to trust your own palate. this weekend was great for me at South Beach. Just watching the different hands of people that hated or liked or disliked the wines. Everybody has a different palate, so no matter what I score them here on the show, know your palate. Don't try to like wines because spectator or everybody tries to mold their palate into Robert Parker's palate. It's a very common move. You have your palate, trust it, but try different things. And that's why I do shows like this. Canada, a lot of you, if you were really honest, little side question of the day for you. Have you ever had Canadian wine? Yes, no me, don't bullcrap me. You know, if you're really honest with yourself, a lot of people haven't. So that's what it's about, trying new things. So, sniffy sniff. Very kind of golden apple flavor coming through on the initial attack. There's a little bit of a lychee fruit on the back end, which is really great. I had amazing lychee ice cream, by the way, Mont, in Dallas at the W the other day. It was awesome. Little spiciness, a little burnt tire thing going on as well on this nose. Not bad. Let's give it a whirl. Solid acid on this wine. The balance of fruit and acid is pretty nice. There's this really interesting olive oil component on this wine. I really do feel like I just dipped some nice bread in some real high quality olive oil. And as an olive oil, I think I'd be excited about this wine. But as a wine, the heat is coming through a little bit too much in the back end for me. The alcohol content is 13%. I think it might be slightly higher. There's a little bit of like this grainy, like leafy. I actually feel like I feel like there's a little bit like almost like a leaf flavor coming through in this wine. Little steely minerality on the back end. A little bit of that petrol coming through as well, and feels a little buttered to me, believe it or not. Not like oak monster butter, but I do get a sense of butter, and maybe that's that olive oil. It's got a very thick, strong presence. Let me give it one more shot. Little citrus, little lemon peel, little thin, you know, not really your atypical Gewurz. A little bit New World out for a Gewurz, believe it or not. I'm going to score this wine 84 plus points. It's okay, nothing special, definitely not that excited about it, and it might be a little tired. You know, maybe in an 07, 08 vintage, this wine might be a little bit more exciting. I do feel like it's starting to get a little wrinkle action. It's getting a hair tired. This wine's tired. A little tired, man. Let's move on. That wasn't as exciting as I hoped. I was hoping that the ageability, sometimes Gewurz gets really interesting as it gets older, but that didn't really come through for me. It was kind of like the last minute of the Canadian game in regulation. Canada was on its heels. This wine feels like it's a little bit on its heels. Wine number 2, Inniskillen. 2006 Vidal from the Niagara Peninsula. 375 milliliter, 9% alcohol content, 45 U.S. bones. This wine is made from 100% Vidal grape. I'll get into that in a minute. Has 230 grams per liter residual sugar and 39.2 degrees Brix at harvest. Big sugar count. This is a nice wine, and it gets nice and cold. Vidal is very interesting. It was brought together. The parents of Vidal are actually Uni Blanc, which you see in the southern France region, also known as Trebbiano, which you see in Italy, and Sabelle, a grape that not a lot of people know about. Now, what Vidal, if you've ever had it, it's Vidal Blanc, but it's always referenced nowadays as Vidal. If you've ever seen it, a lot of times we see it in the Northeast, you know, definitely in that Canadian part of the world, because it's really known for its hardiness. The vines are very strong, and they can deal with the harsh weather. It's tough, Mott. It's like the people of the 30s and 40s, not like us soft Americans now. You know, it's just a tougher wine, thicker skin. You know, this varietal does extremely well in tough weather. And so if you've ever planted, you know, some grapes in your backyard and you live in, like, you know, I don't know, Denver, Colorado, this would be a great varietal to play with because it's got really, really strong hardiness to the vines and it can handle the weather conditions. Thus, it is a very popular grape varietal in the ice wine category in Canada. As you can see, really golden color. I mean, this is like almost apricot yellow, almost like maybe, if you drank a crap load of beers and hadn't gone to the bathroom in a while, just, it's got that really yellowish kind of, just got to call them like I see them, kind of coloring going on. You can't deny the nose. Smell this, man. I mean, this is like pineapple jam. I mean, you're going to... I knew you were going to like it.
It does. It smells just like jam.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's got this whole like apricot, pineapple, exotic mango. Guys, this smells like just like goodness in a glass. I mean, it's seductive. You need to stay away. If you're married, you need to stay away from this glass. I'm just going to go back to my room. This is a seductive wine. Gorgeous nose. The pineapple is really starting to explode. I'm going to swirl a little more. And this is really where you get into this. I mean, oh, you know what this... smell this again, Mott. Let me say something to you and see if you get it. Canned peaches.
Yeah, I can see it.
Photographer, smell this. Yeah. Isn't that wild? Yeah. Smells good, right? Oh, right? Yeah. So, very seductive, and this is why dessert wines get great press. Now, Inniskillen is a top producer of ice wine in Canada. Creme de la creme. Sidney Crosby-esque. Just really, really good stuff. All right, let's give it a whirl because why wait? Just so you know, I drank about 64% of that.
That is really good.
Isn't that really good?
It is really good.
That's good, right? These wines are so hard to review. That's why dessert wines get huge scores. First of all, and Mott, you've tasted the far majority of dessert wines we've had on this show. The viscosity of this wine. It was literally thick. I mean, really almost felt like... there's like pear juice that I've had that it's almost like puree. I mean, this is like blended down, very thick, huge viscosity. The thickness of this would be almost like half and half cream instead of water. I mean, it's that thick on the palate. Totally coats your palate. Doesn't let you go. You're still tasting it.
Yeah,
still tasting it. Gorgeous pineapple, peach, apricot. And the reason I go to canned is, how the syrup they put in there, like when you have canned fruit, that's what this almost tastes like. It's not almost like the fruit. It's like the syrupy stuff around it that preserves it. Big,
it's
please.
Like it's concentrated.
I mean, it's very difficult, unless you don't like sweet things, for me to see people not like this. Its delicious factor is off the Richter scale. On that note, let's take a little sidestep. This might be a very nice time. We'll do one this week. It's probably a good time to maybe do a Chilean episode and, wish all the people in Chile, luck. I mean, thank God it was in the ocean. I mean, that's a 8.8. That's a big number. So a lot of buzz in the wine world about supporting Chilean wines. And I'll just throw my hat in there and wish all the people the best. And I have a lot of friends that are there, obviously, from the Wine Business Association. And so I wish everybody well there. And obviously in Haiti. And anybody who's out there struggling or dealing with natural disasters are tough. They just seem so unfair, It's not like your leader made bad decision, you got into a war, and you voted him in. It's like this is much more of a, random thing. So that being said, veering off, I mean, this wine is off the Richter scale. Its deliciousness is almost not containable, and I really, really like it. I'm worried about getting alcoholed here because it's difficult to stay away from. The fruit is fantastic. I'm going to score this wine 94 plus points. It doesn't have the acidity that gets me completely off on dessert wines. So that's, if you're wondering why I didn't go 97, 98, 99, 100. Its delicious factor completely carries it, but it's its acid lacks a little bit, and I look for that freshness because it could be cloying, and I feel like I just poured this and I could see myself being out after this because it's a lot. But it is quite delicious if you're a cheesecake fan. I mean, literally anything outside of chocolate in the dessert world, this is an amazing pairing. I think with chocolate there might be some other ways to go, but a really, Mont, if you look at this carefully, it kind of looks, the color's almost gold.
Yes.
So, maybe very fitting for all our good friends up north. This is a gold-colored, gold medal wine for sure. That is delicious, and 94 plus points for me on this one. Yeah, so my dad predicted Canada would not win a medal at all, if we recall from a couple episodes.
USA, Russia,
And then Slovenia or Slovakia and Czech Republic. I don't remember who he thought, but it was definitely U.S. Russia. Canada wiped both them out. They didn't wipe the U.S. out, but they won. Congratulations. And so that leads me to the question of the day. Good show today. Felt good. One clunker, one amazing wine. Virginia Tech. Big Josh Michael's birthday. Question of the day. What is your worst prediction of all time? You might have predicted some buddies. We're going to get, buddies meaning a guy and a girl, we're going to get married. Oh, it's a new wave, maybe buddies. What doesn't have to be sports. Maybe a presidential election, maybe a governor race, maybe something that was going to happen with your child. What is your worst? And lurkers, if you want a little of this succulent, delicious juice, I think it might be time to come out. What is your worst prediction of all time? Get ready for a phenomenal week of the Thunder Show, my friends. Buckle up. Get ready. You, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world, whether they like it or not.